And the first batch of long-awaited Epstein files was made public last month following years of public pressure and a 30-day deadline set by Congress. Well, even now, additional records are still being released, keeping the story in the headlines and fueling public debate. To help us understand what's been released so far, we say good morning to Alain Sanders, an attorney, former Time Magazine senior reporter, and professor emeritus of political science at St. Peter's University in Jersey City. Good morning to you, Professor Sanders. Good to have you on.
Good morning, Ken.
Well, good morning. What are the files that we've seen thus far? What have we learned from those files at this point?
Well, I think we haven't learned very much, really. We've learned that, of course, Mr. Epstein had a lot of relationships with a lot of powerful people. He hung around them, they hung around him. And we got some pictures of some folks that were part of the entourage. Certainly, we saw pictures of Bill Clinton. But in terms of the horrible crimes that were involved in this with this man, we haven't seen very much. And so that's why you're still getting a lot of people, both on the left and on the right, arguing that really we need to see a lot more and that the administration has not complied with the law, which set a December deadline. So be prepared that this will be a continuing controversy. The information appears to be going out in dribs and drabs. And like all things that come out in dribs and drabs, it just prolongs the controversy. And so people will be asking, why didn't you just release everything as quickly as possible rather than drag it out the way it seems to have gone?
Certainly. And we just want to clarify, just because you have a picture with the person does not imply guilt, right? I mean, look, I've been on television in the New York area almost 40 years. I have a picture with probably 100,000 people. That's not an exaggeration. It sounds like hyperbole. I know you worked for Time. You were a reporter. I'm sure you took a lot of pictures with people. Just because you're pictured, even Bill Clinton, everyone loves to say, Bill, just because you took a picture does not mean they're guilty. Maybe, but not. There's no proof or evidence of guilt, right? I just want to clarify that because people right away assume if we see that person in a picture, they have to be guilty. And we just want to make that amply clear. And I think that was some of the hesitation to release a lot of the files. Now, the administration is saying they have to go through all these files. They don't want to release the names of victims. They don't want to release victims' photos to protect them. But they were given some time to get this stuff together. And not to mention, Professor, it's been years. The Justice Department, under different administrations on the left and right, could have gone through this for years. Why are they still holding on, even with President Trump saying, release the files?
Well, that's the big question. Look, the administration ran on in the campaigns. Elements of the campaign said we have to release the files, and a new Trump administration will release the files. And so, since the beginning of the Trump administration in January of last year, they've been in control of the files, and they could have released any aspect of the files. You know, we went through a long process in Congress to get this law requiring the release of the files, but that law was not necessary, and it is still not necessary. Not necessary. The administration has full control of the documents, and they can release them now. So the question is, why did they not release them starting on January 20th of last year? And that's what fuels all of the controversy. The administration has not explained that. I mean, they have admitted that they went through the files to take a look at the mentions of Donald Trump in there. So if they already went through the files, clearly they know what's in them, and they could have released them or started to release them starting last year. That's the problem when you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it. It fuels controversy. It already has angered Democrats. It has angered elements of the MAGA wing, which expected that the release of these documents would release all kinds of evidence against powerful people. But so far, it's just dragged on and dragged on and dragged on. And that means, of course, it will become a campaign issue as we approach the November elections.
And I know people, Professor, on the left and the right screaming. People on the right who want Pam Bondi gone. They're like, hey, you said you have stacks of files on your desk. Well, where are these files? Let's see them. Because look, you know what? Whether you're Republican or Democrat, if somebody was crooked, I think anyone who's an honest person wants that person dealt with. If you were responsible for raping underage girls, you belong in jail. Period. This is not a Republican issue or a Democrat issue. I don't care who your favorite politician is. This is a potential crime. And as Americans, we should all be unified behind this and say, get these files out. No child should have had their lives destroyed because of filthy, wealthy old men doing something criminal. So,
Right.
I think, and I'm hearing this on both sides. Everybody just wants this out. And if it means the end of a political career in the process, next time, don't kill people psychologically and emotionally and physically by doing what you do. And I think that's where we're at. Realistically, Professor, what are some of the expectations, though, about what these files can and cannot reveal? And is there a statute of limitations for some of the people who might be potentially implicated?
Yeah, there certainly are statutes of limitations depending on what crimes, were committed and are revealed in the files. But one thing to be clear about, what's really been released is relatively innocuous. Look, we're talking about a government investigation of heinous, very serious crimes. And really, the files have not revealed that have been published, have not yet revealed anything about the actual crimes. So it means that the heart of why this man, Mr. Epstein, was investigated, the heart of why that happened has not been revealed to the public yet. And so that's why, again, this controversy is so serious. Also, what's particularly pertinent is the statute that Congress passed said that all the documents must be released. Of course, you have to protect victims. That part cannot be released, identifying victims. But otherwise, everything else must be revealed, essentially, even if it embarrasses powerful people. And so it means that, whatever people did hanging around Epstein, whether it's criminal or whether it's innocent, no matter what, it should be released. So far, really, we haven't seen very much of that.
Alain Sanders, attorney, former Time Magazine senior reporter, and professor emeritus of political science at St. Peter's University in Jersey City. We love every time you come on. You have such insight that we normally don't get with the little sound bites. Thanks for coming on. This is always a pleasure.
My pleasure. Take care, Ken.